I'm still stuck in gold, no plat for me this season. Ah, that's alright. That's alright. Alright, it says it's 9 o'clock. According to my clock, it is now 9 o'clock. Hey, looky there. Wouldn't you know? Wouldn't you know? New cards. It looks like we don't actually get a champion today. No Echo. Just a couple cards for Echo. But boy, do these cards look like Echo, so that's cool. Let's get this over here. Say hello to YouTube, everybody. Alright. So the first card we get, Time Winder. 2 mana, fast speed. To play, discard 1. Okay, new discard support. Deal 1 to an enemy or the enemy nexus. Then deal 1 to another? Whoa! Wait. This is a... Okay. To play, discard 1. This is Static Shock. This is Static Shock for 2, but it doesn't... But instead of drawing a card, it discards a card. What's the point? Okay, no. Okay, no. At first I was like, whoa, that's cool, but now I'm like, what exactly is the point? Like, there's no way discard aggro would ever want this instead of get excited, right? This is basically just a get excited but cheaper that can hit 1 damage to 2 things instead of 3 damage to 1 thing. I'm pretty sure Jinx will always prefer 3 damage to 1 thing for 1 more mana. Good against aggro? Yeah, this is a discard. This is a discard card that's good against aggro. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. We got a 1 mana, 1/3 drop border. These are all Piltover cards, by the way. 1 mana, 1/3 drop border. If you see me in a prediction, summon me. Okay. So, okay, looks like Piltover is getting some predicts. So if you predict drop border, you summon it. Alright, let's keep going. Time Trick. We got a 2 mana burst speed spell, Time Trick. Predict, 2 mana burst, predict, and then draw 1. Hey, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Predict and then draw 1. That's a little better. God, why is it taking so long to get this card? Man, why is it taking so long to get this card? Why are these the cards Shurima wanted for so long in PnZ? I'm not sure. This one is definitely something that Shurima would like as well. Time Trick. This is just like a basic predict card. I'm surprised it took this long for us to see it. Alright, and then the last card is Practical Perfectionist. 3 mana, 4/2. Play, predict. Create 3 copies of the chosen card in your... Oh. Ho, 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 whoa. Whoa. Practical Perfectionist. Play, predict. Create 3 copies of the chosen card in your deck. Zillion Echo? I mean, yeah, Zillion Echo. More copying? Yeah, this is the best copy card I think that's ever been printed in LOR. This right here is more Elnook support. And boy howdy, is it Elnook support. That's what this is. Oh no. Oh no, dude. This is some hella Elnook support. Oh, that one's, oh god, Elnooks, dude. I'm so afraid of the Elnooks, dude. Oh god. Not really Elnook support since you can't play Troop on the same turn. It definitely is. If you play this and then you predict and you see Bull Elnook, Or even better, I guess ideally, you're right. Since you're predicting, if you had to predict Bull Elnuk, that would be a little less than ideal because then you'd have to draw the Bull Elnuk. But if you play this on round 4, or even if you play this on either round 3 or round 4 and you predict Troop, you're guaranteed a Troop on 5. You play the Troop on 5 and there's an even higher chance than usual that you get Elnuks out of it. This is definitely Elnuk support. Elnuks, yeah, but I'm thinking Cheerians. Oh god, that too. There's actually a ton of things in Piltover. I've been thinking about this recently. I've been thinking about ways to make counterfeit copies work, and every single deck has the same problem with counterfeit copies, and the problem is that counterfeit copies itself is bad. This card is kind of like counterfeit copies, but it's not bad. And there are a lot of things in Piltover that are designed to go really well with counterfeit copies. There's a lot. There's Cheerians, there's obviously Elnuks, there's the time bombs, there's the new cat, the new little fallen feline card. There's so many things that go really well with counterfeit copies, but counterfeit copies has always been very bad. I think Practical Perfectionist could enable or support a lot of strategies, and I'm very here for it. Wait, if you predict twice, is the first predicted card under the second predicted card? No. If you predict once, and you pick one of the chosen cards, the card you picked is taken aside, and the rest of your deck is shuffled and put it on top. So if you predict again and you pick a new card, the rest of your deck is shuffled, and the game forgets about your first predict. So no. The way predict works is it shuffles everything. Oops. It shuffles everything that you didn't predict. So anything you didn't pick is now in a random spot instead of where it was. Very interesting. Do you think Echo will copy cards as well? No. Maybe his level up condition will be play X copies of one card. I don't. No. We would need more support than that. We would need more than just this. I think the odds of Echo having something to do with predict are way higher than the odds of Echo having something to do with copying. And I think this card confirms it. This is Echo, by the way. This, for those of you who aren't familiar with the champion from League, this is him. This is Echo right here. I think it's very likely that he'll do something with predict. I don't think he'll do anything with copying. I think that's just something that Piltover and Zon just generally synergize with, is creating copies of cards. It's just that we've never really gotten very much support for that style, and they're doing it now. But yeah, this card. Ooh, this is a card. This is a good card. Oh god, I can see it now. Frickin' Fallen Feet, like, literally Echo Zillion with this. Oh no, wait, no, that doesn't work. It'll have to be Freljord, right? If we want to run Elnuks, we'll have to be in Freljord. So it's gonna be Echo, maybe, and then someone from Freljord. And we're gonna go Elnuks. We're gonna go Cheerians. We're gonna go Fallen Feline. We're gonna go all of it. We're actually gonna play counterfeit copies. Okay, never mind. Okay, never mind. I take it all back. That's my ideal world. Echo Ash. Frostbites. I mean, in that case, if you want to go Frostbites, at that point, why not just go Ezreal Ash? Or Ezreal Teemo and just do things we've always done. And if Echo's bad, it's Ezreal Ash. Yeah. I mean, if you're doing that, if that's your strategy, it might be Ezreal Ash anyway. guess it depends on what Echo does. If Echo actually synergizes with that strategy. Okay, so Time Winder. Let's go back and actually look at these now that we've seen them all. Time Winder is a 2-mana fast speed spell. It discards 1 and then deals 2. It's like a Static Shock, right? I don't feel it. I'm not feeling this one. I can't figure out what deck would want this, because discard aggro certainly doesn't want this. Maybe like... Would Ezreal... Oh, would Ezreal Draven want this? Oh, they probably would, actually. Ezreal Draven would probably like this, actually, right? Because it levels up Ezreal by 2. And obviously they have lots of discard fodder. Okay, yeah, this might be Ezreal Draven support. Time Winder for Kegs. Time Winder is the card Lulu Jinx wants. I can see Kegs. I mean, I can see why you'd say that Kegs want this. I don't know how good Kegs are at having discard fodder, but I mean, this is a Piltover card, and we know that Piltover has discard fodder. This could actually, actually you guys are right. This could go really well with that new, line 'em up, right? If you play line 'em up, and then you play this to discard the knock 'em down, that actually works really well. That's a really cute combo, actually. I like that a lot. Would Kegs only buff one of the damages? No, it would buff both. No. It would definitely buff both damages. Kegs, they apply to the whole spell. Ballistic Bot is already a strong card for discard fodder. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I see it. I can see this for Kegs. Yeah, with that new line them up and knock them down. That works really well. I like that. Now drop border. I don't like drop border. It's a 1-mana 1/3, and maybe in a world of 1/2s, which is, you know, which LOR is, maybe that's good enough. Maybe just the fact that he's a 1-mana 1/3 is good enough. And seeing him in a predict, you don't have to choose him in the, you don't have to choose it in the predict. You can just predict and then like choose whatever, and you just get this out for free. That's good. Yeah, okay, maybe it's fine. This is like a really nice anti-aggro card. This is a really nice anti-aggro card, right? In a world of 2/1s and Sand Soldiers and that sort of thing, drop border is gonna be good. If the meta is more control-y, I feel like it's gonna be useless, right? Or mid-rangey. If people are out there getting 3/2s and, you know, Elnooks, you know, 3/4s and 4/5s and stuff, then drop border is gonna feel pretty useless. But in a world of 2/1s, this could be pretty good. Okay. Might be good in decks like Elnook, where you want to cheat out cards that aren't Elnooks. I guess so. Most 1-mana 1/2s of extra effects, though. This is just a cheat card. Yeah. This is just a free 1/3 sometimes, right? If you're running a deck that actually predicts often, you know, this isn't a Kahiri the Student, right? Kahiri the Student you can just play in any deck that you're only planning on predicting like one time in. If you just run 3 Ancient Preps, you can play Kahiri the Student. This is something that you actually have to be running lots of predicts in, right? I guess it's fine. If the meta, I guess this card is pretty good. If the meta ever turns to like mostly aggressive, you'll just tech this into any to any Piltover Predict deck. I say, assuming that's going to be a thing. Oh god, oh god, oh god. I just realized. Okay, and then before I say what I just realized, Time Trick looks fine. Like I like Time Trick looks like a decent card. I don't think you're just gonna slap this in every single Piltover deck. I don't think it's that good, but it's good. It's good in this Predict archetype. Any archetype that runs like Drop Border and stuff will probably want Time Trick. Just looks really solid. No reason not to play it. The thing I just realized is something that I quote predicted, but a while ago, which is that if Piltover and Zon got a 3-mana card that predicts, they'd put it in Ezreal Draven. And here it is. Here's their 3-mana card that predicts. This, and Fallen Feline are now, I think, this and Fallen Feline are now auto-includes in Ezreal Draven. Let's all just think about that for a moment. I think Practical Perfectionist is going to be in every Ezreal Draven deck alongside Fallen Feline. That's what I think. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Right now, Ezreal Draven just doesn't run any 1-drops. They just run Thermo Beam. So maybe they don't even want Fallen Feline. But if anyone wants Fallen Feline, it's Ezreal Draven, right? Does Ezreal Draven like making copies in their deck? Feels like they don't. I mean, probably not. But I mean, they wouldn't hate it if as long as they can copy something decent. Like if they copy Ezreal, like if Ezreal Draven could just make a copy of Ezreal in their deck, they would not be upset about that. If they could make 3 copies of Draven in their deck, that would, you know, that would not be a bad thing at all. That's, you know, as long as it's just something that's not bad. If it's like the end of the game and they play this on like round 7, they can just predict Captain Farron and make copies of him. I don't think they're gonna be sad. You know, like that's definitely not a negative thing. Copying Tribeam? They probably don't want to copy Tribeam. That probably would be a negative thing. Unless you do it really early. And no, I wouldn't. If I were piloting Ezreal Draven, I don't think I would ever purposefully predict and create copies of Tribeam unless this was like my very first 3-cost card that I'd played. Even then, probably wouldn't. You only want, with Tribeam, you want like a maximum of 2 in your hand, right? At any given time, you want a maximum of 2 Tribeams in your hand, and then afterwards, you don't want to draw anymore, because then, like, if you're on round 7 and you've got 3 cards left in your hand and you top deck a Tribeam, you're like, oh man, it's at 1. Oh, I have to play this at like 2. Oh no. You know, like that's a bad top deck. So no, you do not do that. Yeah, you'd be creating 3 bricks in your deck. Yeah, exactly. Those late game Tribeams off the top are actually bricks. Looking at it now, maybe I'm wrong. Looking at it now, I said back when we saw Fallen Feline that if Piltover got a 3-mana predict card, it would be like that plus Fallen Feline would be the new face of Ezreal Draven. But looking at it now, it's worth testing. It's definitely worth testing, but maybe it's not crazy like I thought it was. And maybe it is. Like, honestly, it kind of comes down to how strong Fallen Feline actually is, right? Fallen Feline plus Hexite Crystal are really scary. You know, this card right here. This card right here is just the card that Ezreal Draven just creams their pants over, you know? This is just the card they want more than anything else. If they can get it, they're gonna be a really good deck. It doesn't target though. That's okay. The thing that deck struggles with is wiping the board, right? That deck is really excellent single target removal. What they can't do is wipe a board that's full, right? If you can get a bunch of dudes out against Ezreal Draven, they start to crumble because they can't shoot all of it. But Hexite Crystal would allow them to just destroy discard, you know, destroy Nightfall, you know, destroy you know, well, not Nasus Thresh, because everything in Nasus Thresh has 3 health, but like probably Nasus Thresh, you know, like and if Ezreal's already leveled, this gets an extra 1 damage on Nexus. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Now, if this is their only predict card, like I don't think Ezreal Draven's gonna be running Time Trick, right? So if this is the only predict card that Ezreal Draven can run, maybe we're fine. Maybe they won't run it, and we'll be fine. But mark my words, they're gonna try it. mark my words, they're gonna put them both in for a minute, right? For like a week or so, we're gonna for a week at minimum, we're gonna see an Ezreal Draven deck with Fallen Feline and Practical Perfectionist. And then we'll see. Heck, you know, for all I know, Echo's gonna be like a 3-mana champion and he'll replace Draven or something. Probably not. Maybe he'll replace Ezreal in that deck. For all I know, that could literally happen, right? We just don't know. We still don't actually know what Echo does. Cool. All right, these are some cool cards. This was a good reveal. I like this card. I really like Practical Perfectionist. I think this is a card that Piltover has been wanting for a long time, just generally, and I'm very excited to mess around with it in decks that are not Ezreal Draven. I don't want to mess around with this in Ezreal Draven. I'll leave that to someone else, but I want to mess around with this with Elnuks. I want to mess around with this with Tyrians. I want to mess around with this with Time Bombs. This is a cool card. This is a cool card. I like this card. If you skip the predict, if you play this and then you skip the predict, does it still create 3 copies of whatever, of like something random? No, it needs a chosen card. Okay, so if you don't choose a card, you just don't create any copies. Okay, I like that. That's better. That actually makes this card better. If it said you create 3 copies of the random card, I think that would lock you into something that a lot of times you wouldn't want. Like if you predict and you get 3 low value cards, like 3 like a Mystic Shot and another Practical Perfectionist and a 1-drop, that would be bad. And you don't want to create 3 copies of any of those. But if you can skip and choose not to create copies, that's actually really good. That actually makes this card a lot better. It creates 3 copies of the skip button in your deck. Oh, the perfect. I think it's fun, but it's not really playable, similar to Counterfeit. I don't think that. I don't think that at all. Counterfeit copies. The only reason you can't play Counterfeit copies is because it drops a card out of your hand. This doesn't do that, right? This gives you a body. This is 3 mana for a 4/2, which is fine. You know, nothing to write home about, nothing crazy, but it's fine. And you predict, which is good. And you create 3 copies, which is really cool. I think this is definitely playable. This is not a bad card. This is a fine. This is at worst, this is a 3 mana 4/2 that predicts, right? And then like we can say that the 3 copies is a wash. That's not usually a negative effect. It's just usually not a relevant effect, right? Creating copies of a card in your deck Usually, the reason counterfeit copy sucks is because that usually doesn't matter. So we can look at this at worst as a 3 mana 4/2 that predicts, and that is not a bad card. It can only be better. It can only be better from there. (4/2) is a terrible stat line. It's not terrible. It's not great. Admittedly, it's not great. There are better stat lines, but it's not awful. No, I think that's fine. It's not amazing, but it's okay. Yeah. What are you talking about? This card is great. I'm not gonna tell anyone that this is busted. I'm not gonna tell anyone that this card is amazing. But I love it. I love it, and I think it's going to support a lot of very interesting strategies. Namely time bombs. I think this is a great card for Zilean. This can make it so that you go from 4 time bombs in your deck to 7 time bombs in your deck. You know, this can make it so that you have extra Tyrians. This can make it so that you have extra Elnooks, and like literally this will be in the Elnooks deck. Like, we are going to see an Elnooks deck, and this is going to be in that Elnooks deck. Mark my words. You guys aren't ready. You guys aren't ready for the Elnook herd to return. It's happening, and this card is part of it. Elnooks deck is gonna be bussin'. It's gonna be bussin', dude. I'm gonna play the hell out of Time Trick, though. That card in any Jinx deck? Time Trick? Hey, you think so? Extra Hexite crystals. Yep, extra Hexite crystals. Oh, it's just so much stuff. I mean, that's hard. Hexite crystal is hard to hit with Predict because there's only one of it. I mean, assuming you only played 1 Fallen Feline, there's only one of it in your deck. If you played 2 Fallen Felines and then played this, then yeah, now we're talking. But if you just play 1 Fallen Feline and then you play this, the odds of you actually hitting the Hexite Crystal are very low. But if you're running... Oh god, this whole Predict package is starting to look really good. Drop Border and Fallen Feline and Practical Perfectionist. Predicting in Piltover is starting to look really good. It's like, you're just gonna predict and stuff is just gonna happen for free when you predict, right? Like, I'm gonna go up against somebody on ladder. Here, this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go up against somebody on stream. They're gonna be playing a Piltover deck. I'm gonna be like, okay, whatever. And then on round 3, they're gonna play Practical Perfectionist and Predict, and they're gonna get a 4/2, and they're gonna get a 1/3 drop border just out on the field for free, and they're gonna draw an extra card from nowhere because they landed the Hexite Crystal. And I'm gonna be like, or Time Trick, you know, round 2. Hell, on round 2, maybe they'll go Time Trick in like just drop a drop border and like get a Hexite Crystal and draw 2 cards. You know, like, I'm gonna be like, uh-oh. Predict with PnZ draw is already good. I've been playing nothing but Shurima Turbo Jinx recently. It's fun as hell. Wow, okay. That sounds interesting. Can Perfectionist copy the 2 mana AoE? Oh, it sure can. I imagine so, yeah. What is the crystal? It's this. So Fallen Feline is a card that was revealed, one of the first cards revealed in this expansion. It's right here. It's a 1 mana 2/1 that says, when I'm summoned, create a Hexite Crystal in the bottom 10 cards of your deck. And that's this. Hexite Crystal is this. It's a 2 mana fast speed. If you see it in a prediction, it gets drawn. And then when you play it for 2 mana at fast speed, it deals 2 damage to all enemies and the enemy nexus. So most likely you draw the gem before you choose. I find that highly unlikely. I find it very unlikely that you predict. Like so what some people are saying is that when you predict and you see Hexite Crystal, it gets plucked out of the predict and then you don't get to pick it. I find that unlikely. I think it's just gonna like the 3 things are gonna come up, and if you choose Hexite Crystal, you still choose it, but it will get drawn and not go on top of your deck, and then your deck just shuffles. Which seems stupid, right? Why would you do that? And the reason to do that is if you happen to be predicting with, you know, Perfectionist, you want 3 more copies in your deck, right? So you give up. If you play Practical Perfectionist and you see Hexite Crystal, you have to choose. The comparison with Kiri doesn't work that way. It's weird. I think it might. The predict, I don't know. We actually have no way of knowing. We'll have to test it. I think predicting as a mechanic is not going to be interrupted, right? I don't think your 3 options are going to suddenly become 2 options, right? And I think it's gonna work the same with drop border. If you see drop border in a predict, it's not just gonna jump out of your predict and you won't be able to choose it. That just seems wrong to me. That seems unlikely. I guess I don't know. I guess that could be what happens. But I feel like you'll be able to click on it. That just seems how it's going to be programmed to me. This is I have no evidence to base this on. This is just a gut instinct. This is just my gut reaction. I think you'll still be able to click on things that do something. It would be kind of jarring if they just took a whole predict option away because you hit Crystal. I mean, that's sort of what's happening. If you hit Crystal, there's unless you're specifically playing Perfectionist. Like if you play Time Trick and you see Crystal, you sort of only do get 2, right? You only get 2 options to predict because there's no point in predicting the Crystal. So effectively, that's what's happening. But mechanically in the game, I think you'll still be able to click on it. I think the value of Predict in general is just underrated because Predict was stuck on bad cards in a bad region. I mean, okay. I mean, all right. I don't think. You mean like Zillion? Yeah. I was gonna say I don't think you could call Shurima a bad region anymore. But I know what you mean. Yeah. Predict is a good mechanic. Yeah, predict is a very strong mechanic, and these cards look very strong. Just a random visitor. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. All right, cool. These look very strong. These all look very strong, except maybe Timewinder. Timewinder just sort of doesn't go with these cards. This is sort of just a new Piltover card. It doesn't really have anything to do with the rest of them. I think this is probably going to be fine in some sort of Piltover control deck. Maybe some sort of Ezreal deck will probably pick this up. I don't know if it's Ezreal Draven. It probably will be Ezreal Draven, but they might also not. This might not make the cut for them. But it looks good. Timewinder looks strong. I'm just not sure where it'll actually wind up. I'm here all day. But the rest of these look like they're all kind of close to shoe-ins for predict decks. Cool. These are some good reveals. These are some good reveals.